are. You don't need to change. You don't need to do anything else. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. And we have rested. So come as you are. And Jesus loves us too much to leave us the same. He will change us and transform us. What we need is transformation. So I say this with boldness and love. Stop teaching our children senseless, ungodly topics. Respect our faith. Respect our freedom. No means no. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. There is no other. The Bible teaches us that we are made fearfully and wonderfully in his image. He made us in his image, male and female. That is his design, not for debate with our children. Teaching anything that is not biblical, that is not true, is not just incorrect, it is wicked. So let the church rise up. Let the parents rise up. Let us build our homes on the rock, not on the sand. In Christ alone, we're made whole. In him, we are set free. And in him and our children, we stand strong for eternity. Over 2,000 years ago, Jesus stepped in human history to redeem and restore us. On the cross, he bore every sin, every lie, every shame, and every failure. He took it all. And when he said it is finished, the debt was paid. The grave was conquered. And 3 days later, he rose again to bring new life, eternal life, resurrection life. So if you ever feel too far gone, lost, just say, Jesus, help me. And he will. He will show himself to you. He will reveal himself to you. He is a loving God. I stand here not just for my children, but for every parent whose voice has been ignored and silenced. That is why I joined the lawsuit. We are not banning books. We're not silencing teachers. We're asking for a choice. Schools can teach math, science, and reading, but they cannot replace parents. They do not carry our children through the tears. They do not pray over them at night. We do. We will parent our children. We have been called judgmental. We have been called hateful. We are not here to judge. We are here because we love, and we love everyone deeply. The book of John says, God did not send his son to condemn the world, but to save it. So we will not compromise the truth of Jesus. We will not compromise the truth of the Bible. We will not let political agendas destroy our families. And we will not sit back as our children are led into confusion. Let our kids be kids. Let families lead, and let God's truth guide. Today I stand with Muslims, Jewish, Christians, and secular parents united by one truth. Parents, not the government, are entrusted with children. This is not just about Montgomery County children. This is about nationwide warning. We're here at the Supreme Court, and I trust they'll do the right thing. And when we win, it won't be just for a victory for Montgomery County. It will be a triumph for every child in America. God bless you.
Give it up for Billy, folks. Give it up for Billy. I can't hear you. Come on. What's been amazing about this whole experience, and let me tell you, we've been through a lot. We've been through a lot of losses, and now we're on the cusp of winning this case. This is not a Christian, Jewish, Muslim thing. This is an interfaith operation that we have done, and I'm so proud and I'm so happy to stand today with my Christian and my Jewish brothers and sisters. And I want to say, we are united. We are united. Come on. We are united. We are united. We are united. And we are united. We are truly united. In what? And what we believe is our inherent right to raise our children the way we feel is right, that is protected by our First Amendment in the Constitution of the United States. And that's why we're here today. And let me tell you something, it's not easy to be here today. The trial and tribulation that we have seen, the threats that we have received, all of the things that you would not believe has happened to us so that we could stand in front of you here today with a chance to do what? With a chance to win. With a chance to win. We have a chance to win today. My dear, respected brothers and sisters, we have a chance to win today. And why? And we have faith. That's why. We have faith that what is right will be done, and we will prevail over MCPS. Let's hear it. And we will prevail over this music, and we will drown out this music, and we will be successful. Our next speaker is another parent that I've had the pleasure of working with, another parent who is struggling in Montgomery County Public Schools. And she has also been working tirelessly to bring us to this point today. I want to introduce Rosalind Hanson to the podium to speak. Give it up for Rosalind.
Good morning. My name is Rosalind Hanson. I am a Catholic mother, a Montgomery County resident, and a member of the leadership team for Moms for Liberty. I am here today because something foundational is at stake, something that goes far deeper than politics or policy. This case is about the right of parents to raise their children according to their beliefs. It is about the freedom to decide what is and is not appropriate for our children. A few miles northwest, this freedom is under attack. The Montgomery County School Board is driving a wedge between parents and our children by mandating storybooks that push radical gender ideology without parental notice or parental opt-outs. The board has essentially told us that we do not get a final say in our children's education. No notice, no consent, no choice. These books aren't neutral stories about inclusion and kindness. They blur biological facts and leave kids confused, especially when what they hear at school clashes with what they are taught at home. For many of us, that conflict isn't academic, it's deeply personal. It affects our children's mental health, it undermines our faith, and it forces families, many of whom who are gathered here today, into impossible decisions. Some parents have taken their children out of public schools altogether. Others, like me, are trying desperately to keep our children grounded in biological truth and religious beliefs, while the school is pulling them in a different direction. These harms are not theoretical. They are real, and they are felt acutely. And they are being ignored by the very people we should be able to trust. Our children are not wards of the state. The law does not stop at the schoolhouse door, and parental rights do not disappear when children get on the bus each morning. Our request today is simple, and our cause is just. We are moms and dads who want our children to grow up safe, loved, and grounded in truth. We are here because no one should be forced to choose between their faith and their child's education. Let kids be kids, and let parents parent. And lastly, and most importantly, may God guide and bless the attorneys fighting for us, the courageous plaintiff families who took a stand, and our Supreme Court justices in their rulings. Thank you.
Give it up for Rosalind one more time. Let's go. So my story is we found out about these books in the fall of 2022. It was sent home, actually, a piece of paper regarding some of these books that contradicted a lot of the teachings that we have in our home. But they gave us the option to opt out and actually sent a form to our home. And the form was to opt out of these readings and the subsequent discussions with teachers who are untrained for such discussions. We filled out the paperwork and we sent it in to our daughter's elementary school, and she was confirmed to be opted out of these programs. A little bit before the readings, maybe a week or two before the readings started, we got an email from her teacher, and she wanted to confirm that we were opted out of the readings and the discussions after the readings. And we said, yes, we're confirming. What happened, the books were read, the discussions were had, and we, in April of 2023, unilaterally were informed that there was a unilateral decision by MCPS to go ahead and to remove the opt-out unilaterally with no discussion. So I asked the principal, I said, Miss So-and-so, can I come in and talk to you? And I went and spoke to her in her office, and I said to her, do you have any documentation from MCPS that states that the opt-out has been removed? She says, no, I have no documentation. I said, then how was this communicated to you that the opt-out is no longer in place? She said it was on a Zoom meeting. Is that real? Is that reasonable? Is that reasonable? She said it was during a Zoom meeting where they had been instructed to go ahead and cancel the opt-out. Folks, this is exactly what happened. This is exactly what happened while I'm sitting with her in her office. She said we were told over a Zoom meeting. She said we had an option, though. We had an option to cut the opt-out immediately or wait until the end of the year. I have opted to wait until the end of the year. Other elementary and middle schools have decided to end it immediately, effective immediately. I said, that's fine, Mrs. So-and-so. Let's agree to disagree on this topic. I just want to let you know, or you let me know, actually, when these readings are happening. Is that a reasonable request from me? I asked, I just want to know when the readings are happening so my child could be absent that day. And you know what she said to me? She said, I can't tell you. She said, I can't tell you those days. I said, what do you mean you can't tell me? I'm her parent. She says, we're instructed not to tell the parents when these readings are and when the subsequent discussions by untrained teachers are happening. I was amazed, sitting in front of this grown woman as a grown man with a child in her school who was not allowed to know when these readings were happening. Where do we live, folks? What country is this? And so I walked out thinking I am just beside myself. And then later we find out, and you'll hear in this testimony today, now listen to this, that those teachers, based on documents presented in this court case, were actually trained to push back on the kids that had any other opinion than the ones being expressed by the teachers. It's in the court documents, folks. This is the reality of what we're dealing with. At the same time, the state of Maryland is easing the access to puberty blockers. They are blocking parental rights and parental notifications, and this is a slippery slope. This is a slippery slope that we're not willing to go down. And this is the story that I have for you with regard to what happened to me. So you'll hear in the case, in the hearings today, how the teachers are instructed. Now, put yourself in the place of the child, this young, impressionable child facing a figure of authority, right? A figure of authority is coming to push back against each child. So I'll tell you here that we are here for those kids, those voiceless kids, those 7-year-old kids, those 6-year-old kids who do not have a voice. We are your voice today. We are your voice today. Let's hear it. We are your voice. We are your voice. We are your voice. We are your voice. We are your voice today. And that's what drives me every day. And that's what got me out of bed this morning and brought me up here today for that 6- and 7-year-old preschool kid who doesn't have a voice in front of this machine that you see on the other side. That's why I'm here today, and we will not stop. We will not stop, and we will win today. And we will win today. I want to invite up our next speaker, Ashley McGuire. If you could come up and speak, please. Give it up for Ashley.
Thank you. My name is Ashley, and I'm a mom to 5 awesome kids. For that, I feel so fortunate. I'm also fortunate to be able to send them to 3 different amazing Catholic schools. And again, for that, I am so fortunate. Because unfortunately, I live in Montgomery County, Maryland. And in my county, parents like me are faced with an unconscionable choice. Send your kids to public school, where they will be forcibly exposed to sexually explicit gender ideology books aimed at young children, or go private. Go private. That is the smug response on my local parenting blog to parents who cannot, in good conscience, risk their children being taught lessons about sexuality that violate their most fundamental religious beliefs. Parents are not only not given the right to opt their children out, they are not afforded the basic courtesy of an email from their teacher as to when these lessons will be held. I don't get it. When I was growing up, opting your kids out of sex ed was an option that not only was standard for parents, it was not controversial, even for non-religious reasons. Today, parents are claiming the most basic religious right to be the primary educators of their children about delicate sexual topics, and that suggestion has brought us all the way to these steps of the Supreme Court. This is not controversial. It's just common sense. No parent in this country should be told that their options are to send their child to public school and violate their religious beliefs or go private. Because at the core of that message is the idea that religious liberty is a luxury good. Religious liberty is for rich people. Religious liberty is for people who can afford a 5-figure tuition. It's not for working parents working 2 jobs just to make ends meet. It's not for parents who are immigrants to this country and navigating our public school system while trying to learn English. It's not for the single mom who would love to homeschool but can't. That message is un-American, it's unjust, and it's unconstitutional. I am a tax-paying Montgomery County mom, and I am footing the bill for the fancy lawyers at WilmerHale who are here to argue before the Supreme Court that moms like me don't have the most basic religious liberty rights when it comes to our kids. But just because I'm footing the bill doesn't mean I'm towing the political line. Instead, I am proud to stand here in solidarity with every single Montgomery County public school parent fighting for common sense, for religious liberty, and for their God-given constitutional right to educate their children according to their religious beliefs. Thank you.
Give it up for Ashley. Give it up for Ashley. So we're here today, folks. We're here today after 2 years of struggle to come to a final decision, which is going to be handed down shortly in the days and weeks to come. Our position is this, is that we have a right as parents in this country for years in and years out. This has never been a discussion, but we are here today because of all the erosion that we see in those rights. The First Amendment in our Constitution guarantees our right to religious freedom and to conduct it guarantees our right for religious freedom. And that's what we are here. Does it guarantee our right for religious freedom? Let's let them hear it. Yes. Living in this country guarantees our right to religious freedom, and we will not be scared. We will not step down. They will not be able to drown us out with their music. We will be here. We will fight for our right to raise our children the way we see fit. And today we will prevail. We're waiting for a few more speakers. We're going to play a little bit of music as we wait for our speakers to come. Enjoy the nice weather, and please stay around and speak to us in this area, please, until we get a couple more speakers who are waiting for it. Thank you so much. They could have walked away, but they didn't. But we didn't get the decision in Greenbelt. So we drove down with Beckett Law and their attorneys. We drove down to Richmond. We thought in Richmond we would have a shot to overturn the removal of this opt-out, and we drove down to Richmond with them. And they stood gallantly and spoke eloquently and defended our case for the parents of Montgomery County. Give it up for Beckett Law. Give it up for Beckett Law. Tireless, tireless. And at the end, when we didn't get the decision in Richmond, shame, yeah, shame, that's a good word. We were dejected. I submit to you, we were dejected. We thought, as everybody had told us, you're not going to change anything in this county. This county is going to do what this county does, and you guys will never change anything, so go ahead and sit down. And a lot of us were worn down, and even people in our own communities, they said, you know, Brother Weld, they said, you know, you guys have been working on this for a year plus. Maybe you should sit down. Maybe you should stand down and let this thing happen. We can homeschool our kids. We can go to other states and other counties. We can try something different. But I knew that Beckett Law would follow through and get us to the Supreme Court, and that's where we are today. That's where we are today. This is the highest court in the land, and we're here today. And we will prevail. We will prevail. We will prevail today. This is our day. Greenbelt wasn't our day. Richmond wasn't our day. But today, this is our day. I want to introduce our last speaker, another parent from Montgomery County. He's an attorney as well, but he's a parent from Montgomery County. As everybody who came up here and spoke was, a parent from Montgomery County. Not a political activist, not a political operative, not somebody's on somebody's payroll. We are just parents. We never asked to be activists, but this is the position that MCPS has put us in. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our last speaker, Rallies, who is an MCPS parent. Give it up for
at the table, especially at the Supreme Court. Several years ago, when my school district banned books, I found myself more in the list of challenged books than I did in my school library. Amid a flurry of emotions, I decided to speak to my school board, because if not me, then who was going to represent that student voice? Unlike today, I was the only student in attendance, as trustees made decisions about our education without us at the table. Board members surrendered to fear and bigotry, ignoring my plea for an inclusive education. I felt alone in that room at 17 years old, as my hands trembled and palms sweated. But afterward, people saw me on the live stream and realized that they were not alone. Weeks later, we returned, and we returned again and again, and throughout the following year, we packed school board meetings in Katy and across Texas. We built a movement led by students for students, demanding a seat at the table in what we called Freedom Week. I led students to distribute hundreds of challenged books at high schools across the district. including Love Violet, which is under scrutiny today. We filed legal action with the ACLU to enable access to censored resources for vulnerable students, including the Trevor Project Suicide Prevention Lifeline that was prohibited on my school district's internet. We told our stories in local and national press to elevate our voices that would otherwise be unheard. Together, we author the next chapter of our history, carrying on the values and lessons learned by the giants who stood before us. In their footsteps, we said, nothing about us without us. We stand here today, not because we want to, but because we feel a moral obligation to, when certain people would rather exclude us from the conversation, deprive us from our right to decide what we can learn in our classrooms, and attempt to erase our existence as marginalized people, you bet we show up on the front lines of where decisions are made. I should not have had to defend my right as a 17-year-old, but here I am at 21 years old, continuing to do the same. I co-founded SEAT because young people, I didn't see young people like myself involved in policymaking. I was always asked why I was advocating. Politics may seem divisive or seen as a hobby to some, but for too many young people, across our nation, and especially in my home state of Texas, who have grown up in our nation, we do not separate politics from our everyday lives. Our rights, our wealth, our voices, our freedom is all political, because they treat us as political pods. In 2023, I was invited to testify before the United States Senate, just over there for a hearing on book bans. In my remarks, I told senators the actions of one person alone challenging a book in a school library should not burden and restrict the education of 90,000 students in my district without due process.
I don't understand how we can do it.
Students have rights of our own. And in today's case, justices, as we are hearing right now, are deciding whether parents or the school would have a bigger say. But what they overlook, possibly, is what students have to say. Where are the student voices? Where is our right to decide? We won't let them forget about us, because SEAT and Scholars for the Advancement of Children's Constitutional Rights filed an amicus brief in today's case. In our amicus brief, we argue that students maintain a right to discover ourselves and experiences that we're unfamiliar with. We deserve stories that reflect the realities of our personal lives. Diversity is who we are, and compassion is who we need to be. Students deserve the freedom of expression and a truthful curriculum, not policies that silence our voices. Public schools are centers for community and a cornerstone of democracy. And if we are to solve the Texas-sized issues of today, a student's seat at the table is a great way to start. Thank you so much.
I appreciate that you say we're in the public schools is a uniquely coercive environment. What if we have a teacher who is gay and has a photo of a wedding on her desk?
Miss Gay Rallies.
His parent
Yeah, MCPS.
having their student be in that classroom.
We think no, because the student, the student may not be
Hey friends, just wanted to make a few announcements. Of course, keep yourselves hydrated. June 29th, Montgomery County Pride in the Plaza. Woo for Pride, yes, because Pride is happening. It is also World Pride is this year, everybody, yes. And we will be celebrating in DC. So on Sunday, June 29th, downtown Silver Spring and Veterans Plaza, please join us for Montgomery County Pride. Also visit livingyourtruth.org/events to find out more about our amazing events and programs. Right now, we have this phenomenal drag competition going on in downtown Silver Spring that you do not want to miss. It was also Emmy nominated last year. Whoop, whoop. So, and won a Gold Telly Award. So, please come out. I believe the shows are on May 9th, May 30th, June 13th, and then again on June 29th at Montgomery County Pride in the Plaza from 12 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. Thank you all so much for being here. We have some more speakers and performers coming along the way from 1 until, actually, for the rest of the time until 2 o'clock. So thank you all so much for being here. Stay hydrated, and we love you all, and we love inclusivity. Also, my name is Philip Alexander Downey, the CEO of the Montgomery County Pride Family Moco Pride Center, Inc., if you all have not met me. Thank you all so much. I'm good. I got plenty of time. Okay, he's the White House.